listening to what the spokesperson for the Ministry of Commerce say, and for that matter, there was a report in the Wall Street Journal today that China's saying, you've got to let Huawei back in or we're not going to have a deal. Are both sides sort of toughening their positions just before this meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I think what China is saying certainly is consistent with their white paper that they had put out actually a few weeks ago. That was a postmortem on the trade discussions, but also their conditions to get these negotiations back on track. So I think they're actually pretty consistent with what they've already put out in public. But the fact that they're reiterating these so close to the actual Xi-Trump meeting, I do think is of interest. And President Trump the other day also said in an interview that he could very well ratchet up tariffs if the Chinese don't necessarily cede to the U.S.'s demand. So I think you're right that some of this is posturing. However, I think it does underscore how far away these countries are on a big settlement.
There seems to be a consensus, you've talked to people more or less, that what they'll do is they'll get together, say some nice things, decide for the U.S. not to impose more tariffs and agree to talk some more. If in fact that's the most likely result, is it likely that President Xi and President Trump have already decided that? Because otherwise they wouldn't go into this meeting. They're not going to go into the meeting and have a blow up on them.
Yeah, I think there's probably some of that. And in some ways, in our view, I think that's kind of the best case scenario, that these negotiations get back on track. It does seem like from back channeling that this was sort of a precondition for Xi, that the U.S. wouldn't necessarily just walk out of the meeting and go just to escalation of tariffs. However, I think that President Trump has shown time and time again that he believes that tariffs as a tool work to extract leverage over negotiating power. So I don't necessarily think we can discount the chance of escalation here, even though I think you're right that kind of the base case, especially in the markets, is that we see some sort of truce rather than a settlement.